Hey guys, so it has been a minute. Um, a lot has changed. Specifically, my health has changed a lot. Since February, I got to the point in my health journey that I was very, very, very um, frustrated and kind of upset at myself because I got myself to the point where I weighed almost 190. I think when I checked, I was like 189. And I I was just really upset at myself that I got that far up on the scale. And I told myself before that I was going to lose weight, and I I just laxed, I guess, all the anxieties of my life and the things that have kind of gotten in the way of that. I put up this mental roadblock to it, and I just kind of let it go. So in February, I started trying something new, trying something a little different than I've done in the past. I actually started intermittent fasting. I went on the 16/8, and since February, end of February, something like that, I have lost 189. So I've lost about, let's see, 188 to 168. I've lost about 14, 15 pounds now. It is probably more than that as I'm talking, because I haven't weighed myself at the end of this week yet. But I suspect that I will be down in the 160s here come come Sunday or so. I weigh myself once a week, and right now I weigh 170. Is it 176? I really can't even remember anymore. But we're in the mid 170s, right? So I was intermittent fasting. I have always exercised my entire life. So that wasn't the issue. But on top of the intermittent fasting, I continued to exercise. The thing that was holding me back the entire time was my diet. I started eating more fruits and vegetables, having salads like once a day, every other day, just having more greens, um, just incorporating more healthier stuff into my diet. I'm not on the keto. I'm not on all these other things that are very helpful to most people, but to me, it's um, to me it's hard to live that lifestyle when your family eats a certain way, right? And so I've just been incorporating more fruits and vegetables, watching what I eat, creating a calorie deficit, and it's been working. Um, I definitely cut back. I don't really, well, up and before this last week, we had a guest over, so we had some, you know, candy and stuff like that, but it was very little, and I haven't gained anything back at all. So, um, I've just been doing really well. I'm quite happy with the way things are going. Um, I'm just trying to remember and tell myself that, like, you've done this before. I'm 40 years old, and I did this when I was in my 20s. I I weighed Back then, I was almost 200 pounds in the 190s, you know. And all I did back then was exercise. And yeah, I changed my diet a little bit, and that helped for sure, but I wasn't fasting or any of that. But I did this one thing where it's helped my change my diet around. It's helped me just curve my cravings as well. And part of that is actually drinking apple cider vinegar diluted in water, and that's helped a ton as well. Um, I'm actually just done with that bottle now, so I'm actually moving to the pill form only because I do want to preserve my teeth. I do drink apple cider vinegar with a straw, and that's supposed to definitely help a lot of that acidity or that acid on your teeth not become a thing. And rinsing my mouth out after I'm done. That's all great and dandy, but um, I do want to preserve as much as I can, and I feel like that might be the more practical route at this point. Apple cider vinegar is a great way to curb appetite. Um, Makes me feel fuller. It actually, my digestion has been so much better since doing this, and I've been doing apple cider vinegar for about, again, since been the end of February since I started my fasting. So I do it right before bed, and it's helped a ton. My body has slowed down my digestion in the sense of I'm I'm not, for lack of a better word, all my food is being digested correctly, and it's helped a lot. My iron levels are back to normal. Um, I am work still. My doctor still wants me to get those up a little bit, but my digestion is really well. My iron levels are really good. They were worried that I was losing blood, but because I have gotten those numbers back up to a really nice level, again, still want to get that up a little higher, but they're definitely um, way more encouraged and way more happy with my iron levels. Because if they were, if there's any concern, I probably wouldn't have gained the iron levels that I have over these last uh, over this last year, really. Um, and partially that was due to the fact that I had been donating blood as well. Um, so the doctors wanted to make sure that my iron levels would get back up to normal first before they ordered any more tests like a colonoscopy and things like that. And I haven't had any other signs of, bleeding or anything. So, um, but I am very, very happy. You can definitely tell I've lost weight, especially in the mirror. I feel like I can see it in my face. Um, I'm just really, I guess, for lack of a better word, and I don't like to do this because I, I just, it's weird to me, but I am proud of myself, and that's weird to say when I hear it out loud, but um, I just feel really good. I have more energy. I have more, I'm less sluggish. When I go to the gym in the morning, specifically before work, I go at like 4 a.m. in the morning because I work at 7. So I usually work out for about an hour to an hour and a half. And that gives me tons of energy for work. Before I was doing it after work, and I just felt like I was going to the gym and I was fine, but I definitely did things a little bit slower after work because I was just so tired and sluggish. But um, yeah, things have been going really well. Um, that's been really the big change in my life in the last since February of 26 here, and I'm very, very happy with everything. Um, some other stuff is going on, with my parents, which I won't get into, but um, they're getting older, and they're just, going through a lot. It's that time of your life where, you know, everyone goes through something, and um, I'm just kind of currently trying to figure out how to deal with that a little bit. Um, just being aware of what your parents need in this point in their life, opposed to what you need, has kind of um, come to the forefront with me personally. Trying to understand, trying to just be there for them if I can. Um, some in some ways I can't, in some ways that I can. Um, so um, yeah, but I've been losing weight. I'm still trying to. I still have about, give or take, 10 pounds to go, because I want to be at 165. Um, because that's what I weighed back in my 20s, and that's actually when, about the same time I met Cassie, and that's where I want to be again, and I'm super excited about it. I'm I got sick of the belly fat. I got sick of There's a lot of things I got sick of, and even though I still have a little bit of belly fat down here, I'm hopefully going to be losing the rest of that. By sometime in May is, I guess, the goal time, from what my numbers are showing on my app. So it's so far so good, and we're right on track. Um, so yeah, things are great. I'm excited on where things are going in general in my life, and um, you know, again, this isn't to say that everything is perfect, but there are definitely things that I'm working on mentally, other than my parents and stuff. But um, I'm doing quite well. You know, um, I'm just excited about this weight loss journey, um, because I once I get here, I really never want to go back. And I know that's hard to say, especially when you're married and you go on vacations and you do this and there's holidays and all that other stuff that goes into that. But I think the most difficult part's going to be maintaining that weight. And I don't know, I don't think I've ever had to do that before. I guess it's just a matter of not overeating and just um, don't relax because you're at your goal rate. So a lot of people tend to, oh, this day is not going to hurt me, this day is not going to hurt me, and that builds up, and you're at 5 days in a row and you've gained like 5 pounds, right? So I'm really trying to be conscious of that kind of stuff. Um, so um, and it also helps that I exercise every day regardless. My routine consists of I get up in the morning at 4 a.m. I go to the gym. When I get there, I usually stretch for about 5-10 minutes, and then I go to every other day. I'll do lower and upper, and so I usually start off my week with lower, which consists of the leg press. I do the inner and outer thigh butterfly. Um, I do 3 sets of each of those exercises. And then we'll go to the crunch machine where I work out my core. Um, have I gotten some results out of there? Sure. I It's not something that I'm super like. I don't need abs. That isn't what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for more of a flatter stomach, more of that's. It would be nice to get a lot of that belly fat off, and I'm working on that still, obviously. Um, but we'll see what happens when I get closer and closer to that goal weight. But I do the crunch machine, and then for 30 minutes, I do the elliptical. It's called the walk, run, and jog machine. It's like elliptical, but you kind of move with it, opposed to um, the other way around, I think. So I do that for 30 minutes after I'm done with that crunch machine. So that's my lower body. Some of these obviously exercises are going to be the same for both, like the crunch machine and the elliptical. Those are like set in stone. I do those every single day. But the other ones, when I go into upper body, will be the bicep curl, and I'll do the um, back extension, and what's the other one? Oh, and then I'll do the uh, T row, where you work on your upper body a little bit more, and you just kind of lean forward and you bring it up to your chest, standing up. Um, it's not your regular, row exercises, but it works well. And so, yeah, those are what I do every single week, 5 days a week. I used to do seven, but then I realized that I have to give my body a rest. And so I go 5 times a week, Monday through Friday. And that's that. And so that's what helps me keep this weight loss going. It helps me, um, it's fixed a lot of things, specifically this 16/8 fast, intermittent fasting. I usually, I will, I'll stop eating at 8 p.m. and then I don't eat again until the very earliest noon, which is 16 hours. Um, and so then I can eat from 12 to 8, and then it just keeps going like that. There are some circumstances like last week. Is it last week or is it the week before? It was last week where it was Easter, so um, we were going to have to eat at a different time, and so um, no, it wasn't Easter. It was the week before where we had some company over, and we were going to be serving breakfast or something like that. I don't remember the exact time, but it was sometime in the last 2 weeks where it was Easter. It was Easter morning at church. And so we were going to be eating at like 10 o'clock in the morning. So I decided I was going to stop eating at 6 p.m. the night before and then just fast till 10, those 16 hours. And then I can eat from 6, or I can eat from 10 to 6. However, to go back to my original 16/8, I just stop eating at, well, I stop eating at 6 no matter what, but I'll pretend that night that I start at 8, even though I'm fasting. I stop eating at 6. I'm just going that extra 2 hours because I have to get back on that original 16/8, or my 8 to 12, if that makes sense. So there's ways to adjust it if you need to. I do highly recommend it. I again, I've been doing it for since February sometime, and it's been great. And I've lost weight doing it, and I've felt great doing it. Um, I personally keep track of my my calories. It's not the end all be all because I know that's hard to do, so I don't expect everyone to do that. But for me, it does work. Um, it works really well for me because it keeps me accountable. And that's the main reason why I do it. Because if I didn't, I think I would just be like, oh, it's just another thing. It's another thing here. And then before you know it, all my calories are gone and I get screwed. When I have to eat something like pizza or something, I literally will have two pieces of pizza. And if there is a breadstick, I'll throw in a breadstick, but that's it. I have everything um, in serving sizes for the most part. Um, so it's really helped me a lot, and I I would recommend it if you can handle it. Not everyone can do this based on any medical conditions. It's not for everyone, um, and so while I recommend it, I also would suggest you talk to your doctor, just see how your body feels with it. You'll know whether you can handle it the first few days. But even then, I would still double check with your doctor, things like that. I'm not necessarily telling you this is the only way to lose weight because it's not. It does work for me, um, and it has worked for some of our other friends that we have in our lives. They do the same thing I do. They've been doing it way longer than I have, and it's more of a lifestyle change than it is a diet. Because I really don't have any reason to stop. Um, the one thing I will have to do though between that 8 hours that I'm able to eat is I will probably have to eat a little bit more than I am now just to maintain that certain weight that I'm trying to be at. So once I get to my goal. So again, I don't know how that works. I've never tried to like actually maintain my weight. I've only ever lost it, um, and obviously we know how to gain it, but I've never had to learn how to maintain something so hard to do. Which I've I've really never really thought about it. So um, so between my weight loss and some of the other things I've talked about, I'm doing well. Um, I have not had a seizure since last June. I take my meds every day. I'm always um, I'm always aware that I don't miss my meds, making sure that I'm taking them 8 o'clock or just thereafter. Like 8:10, whatever it is. I have a um, I have a app on my phone and my watch. The phone sends me the notification on my watch, but um, just to remind me, take your meds, whatever it is that you're taking, which is only my seizure medication and then my anxiety. But I'm taking those every day, specifically my most important one, which is my seizure medication, and I have yet, and I don't suspect I will ever have one as long as I'm on my meds. Um, so I I just it's been interesting last year for numerous reasons, but um, the main thing is um, this exercise and this fasting has fended off. Is that the right word? Fended off. Fought off the energy level that my seizure medication tries to fight. So the seizure medication actually makes me tired. It makes me. It also makes me my energy level is just down in general. So I've noticed that since I started this in February, my energy level has gradually gone up. My cognitive level has gradually gone up, especially the further and further I get away from that seizure. But specifically, my brain fog goes away because of my fasting, my apple cider vinegar, things like that. Um, so um, it's been helpful, to say the least. Um, but fighting it off with nutrition, exercise has been a big help, and it hasn't been easy. So, but I think I found that happy medium finally. I hope. I guess as we go along, we'll find out more as if things get even better. Um, but I am concerned about my cognitive functioning because of this medication. I went and did testing a couple months ago now, and I think was it right after I got back from Arizona, or was it before? I can't remember. No, this was last year. End of last year, I had cognitive testing, which I might have mentioned, I might have not. But they were testing everything from you know math, life issues, whatever it is, right? So, and my first thought is, part of it's my seizures, because since I had my last one, it's been June. The further and further and further I get away from that seizure, it seems like my cognitive, especially that I don't forget less and less, all right? The further I get away from it. And I think I've noticed that it's getting better. It's not perfect, but it is getting better. Um, so, but again, the medication also causes brain fog. It causes forgetfulness. It basically suppresses your immune system a little bit. Not your immune system, your just your body in general, and makes you tired and stuff like that. So, with fighting that off with exercise and diet, all that stuff, which I've already mentioned, like it's just been a interesting year. This to start to this year, finally doing something that seems to be working. Um, so anyhow, I don't think I have a whole lot to say other than I'm happy with how the way things are going, and I'm just looking to continue the fight, continue the weight loss that I've been on. Um, when I'm looking at the screen right now, I do see a significant difference in my face. It seems to be a little thinner. Uh, and just my body in general isn't as, um, I don't know any other way to put it, but bulky, less bulky. I don't know. That's weird to say, um, but I'm just looking to be healthy. I'm not looking to be a sculptor or have abs. I'm not looking for that. I'm just looking to feel lighter, be lighter, um, and just be able to have the kind of energy back that I used to when I was 20. And so I am getting there, and I am um, very happy. Um, to think that I can get back to what I weighed when I met Cassie when we first started dating, which was in 2011, which also would have been, again, if I'm 2011, that's you're looking at 2026 minus 2011. That's like, goodness gracious, that's like 14 years ago, 15 years ago. No, it's longer actually. No, it's not as long, but me and Cassie have been married for, it'll be 12 years this year. And so we got together 3 years before that. So it's been like 15 years, something like that, since I was my lightest. Granted, I was that weight for a long time before I met Cassie, but that's the last time I remember looking that way at myself. I have pictures of how skinny I was back then, and that was around the time I met Cassie. But before that, I think I started my weight loss. I started working out every single day, going to the gym every single day. I think it was in 2008, something like that. And all I did was run on a treadmill and watch a little bit what I was eating. It wasn't something that I was really trying to do, but I was just cutting back on what I ate. I wasn't really eating fruits and vegetables back then. I was just taking less food, and I wasn't being healthy per se, but I was still losing weight at that. This time, I'm being as healthy as I can, being conscious of what I'm eating, having greens, having fruits and vegetables, things like that. So, yeah, just gonna keep up the good fight here. I'm gonna get out of here because I've been talking for way too long. And at this point, I am repeating myself over and over again. And unfortunately, that is something I have a hard time with, because not because I purposely do it, but because my the way I'm wired and having CP, I process things a little differently than others. So, with that being said, I'm going to get going. I hope for anyone that's watching this, it helps someone out there, and and if you're just watching to watch me, great, thanks, I appreciate it, and I hope that I can maybe just brighten your day a little bit more from hearing my story. And just, it's been a while. I haven't come on here since like January, so I still love doing these. They're not going to happen all the time. They could, but they're not planned. They're not like, when I feel like it, I come on here and talk. Because there are times in my life when I just miss this. Anyway, I'm going to get going like I said I would like 3 minutes ago. So, with that being said, guys, have a good one.